Julian NAGELSMANN, head coach of Die MANNSCHAFT of Germany, has just announced his squad for the UEFA Nations League finals, where they're playing effectively in a semi-final against Portugal. And it's in Munich. It's at the Allianz. So, I don't know what kind of money Uli Hoeneß, Max Eberl and co, Christopher Fund are paying people like UEFA, but they're hosting a lot of games, aren't they? They've got this game, and and a week before they'll have hosted the European Cup. Now I'm old school. Champions League final is going to be in the Allianz in Munich on May the 31st, and then this game, semi-final. And if they win, by the way, and then depending upon the outcome of the other game, now that is feisty, isn't it? That's not a De Classica. Yeah, kind of, isn't it? On an international basis, that is a De Classica type game, isn't it? Spain, France. Michael Olise, Christopher Nkunku, is he going to be joining up with Michael Olise at FC Bayern Munich? We did a video on that. Anyway, jumping straight in with the plugs. There's a video in the linked in the description box down below. We speculate, because it's true, right? If it's called out by Bild, Sky, Christian Falk, Florian Plettenberg and Fabrizio Romano, if it's called out by any of those gents, it's got to be true, innit? Anyway, Christopher Nkunku currently plays for Chelsea, but he's been frozen out by Cole Palmer. He plays with Michael Olise for the national team, although he's not played that many games for the men's team. Anyway, are we going to see Christopher Nkunku join up with Michael Olise at FC Bayern? See that comments section down there? Do you see it? I'll have a look for you if you want. It's got your name on it. It's got your name written all over it. So drop your thoughts and your comments down below. Right, so again, whoever wins the other semi-final, let's assume Die MANNSCHAFT are going to win against Portugal. Then it's going to be a great atmosphere in Munich, isn't it? More Weiss beer douching going on. Anyway, this is just confirmation, right? Julian Nagelsmann names Germany's squad for UEFA Nations League, and of course, there's some background to it. His 26-man squad for June's UEFA Nations League includes recalls, not total recall, but recalls for the likes of Marc-Andre to STEGEN, Barcelona goalkeeper, Serge Gnabry, controversial, and Niclas FULLKRUG coming back in from the cold, like the spy that came in from the cold, while Jamal Musiala, who has been rushed back, but it's more likely that Jamal Musiala, FC Bayern playmaker, is going to end up playing for Munich in the Club World Cup. So you've got to give some props there to Nagelsmann and the way that he's understood as a former player and as a coach. He's managed at club level as well as international level, that players need time. The more significant game for Musiala in Munich is that Club World Cup, so good on him. Yeah, props there to you, Julian Nagelsmann. And of course, you can follow the Club World Cup right here with us on the German Football Spotlight channel. So, just a quick ask. Have a think about it, but fuck it, don't think too long. 2 fingers, double pivot, 4-2-3-1. Pascal Gross, Felix NMECHA, or is it going to be Gretzky? We'll find out. Either way, use these 2 fingers as you double pivot. One to smash that like, one to hit the subscribe, and then use this outlet, this orifice to spread the word, please. Tell your classmates, your workmates, your family, while you're out and about and in with a shout. Let people know, bring them on down. Bring them here. You can watch the Club World Cup with us. Anyway, back to this. Right, so the Bundestrainer, that's Julian Nagelsmann, has had to deal with a number of recent injuries to key players. Welcome to Vincent Kompany's world, with the likes of Musiala and Tony Rudiger. He's an animal, isn't he? He's a beast, isn't he? Of Real Madrid, not fit enough to make it. Nico Schlotterbeck from Dortmund out injured, as is first choice striker, bagsman for Gladbach, Tim Kleindist. What did he end up with? 16 goals in the Bundesliga. He's out injured. So, and also we're looking at, recalling to Stegen. He's coming back after a cruciate ligament injury. Feels like Oliver Baumann's going to be in goal, though he did concede 4 against Munich on the last day of the season. Thomas Muller's last game and Tom Bischof's last game as well before he joins up with FC Bayern Munich. Nick WOLTEMADE We've been pushing this guy. We've been pushing this guy all season long. All night long. All night. I'm not sure, Gonzo. I'm pretty sure we can't get demonetised for that. Anyway. Yeah, there's Tom Bischof. Look, his first ever call-up. Clap that in, people. Clap that in. Tom Bischof, the 19-year-old former Hoffenheim midfielder. He's also being rushed through. The transfer's been rushed through, I should say, so we can join up with FC Bayern in the Club World Cup, which is taking place June 15th in in that year, USA, US of A. Right, here's the squad. It's listed there. Here's a better graphic, though. What about this one? This is cool, isn't it? Here we go. So, Tor, goalkeepers, keepers. Oliver Baumann of Hoffenheim. He's played in He played in the quarter-final games, didn't he, against Italy. Alexander Nübel, on loan from FC Bayern, currently at VfB Stuttgart. And, of course, he'll be playing in the DFB Pokal final against Liga 3 side, the Zweite Bundesliga side, Arminia Bielefeld. We've got a watch along. Again, it's got your name on it too. Link in the description box down below. That's right. This Saturday, May 24th, 8 p.m. CET, that's Central European Time, in Berlin at the Olympiastadion. It'll take your breath away. It's going to take our breath away. It'll take every fucker's breath away. If Liga 3 side Bielefeld can beat 3 times DFB Pokal winners Stuttgart, we've got a watch along on YouTube. Again, link in the description down below. If you follow our social media channels, we've done a nice little poster to plug it. Anyway, come and join us. Right, so Alexander Nübel, he'll be playing in that final for Stuttgart. And again, Marc-Andre ter Stegen from Barcelona. I don't think he'll play. I would imagine out of the 3 of those, it's going to be... I'd like to see Nübel in goal. I really would. Yeah, for a bit of a change. And we can have a look at some other stats about these keepers. Here is Alexander Nübel. Look, he's 28. Oh, that's the DFB Pokal. That's the final that he's going to be in, I should say. Yeah, played 3 times, conceded 1 goal, kept 2 clean sheets. And in the Bundesliga, where it's really at, isn't it? 34 appearances this season, and I haven't missed a single game. Clap that in, people. Not missed a single game. 34 appearances, conceded 53, but kept 7 clean sheets. That's really good. And also had a few games in the Champions League, didn't he? Because Stuttgart, if you recall, VfB, they finished second behind Bayer Leverkusen in the season before. You know, during Xabi Alonso's invincible double-winning season, because they won the DFB Pokal as well. Yeah, that is... yeah. Really, really impressive there for Stuttgart. He came second, and by virtue of that ended up in the Champions League. So he played 7 games, conceded 13, 1 clean sheet. Not the best performance, but hey, they could end up back in the Europa League if they win that final. I also wanted to have a quick look at ter Stegen. Here, look. Currently under contract with Barcelona for a couple more years. He is 33 now. And he has been out with that cruciate knee ligament injury. Anyway, 8 appearances so far for Barcelona this season. They've got 1 game to go, by the way. Barcelona, his team's already won the title. So there'll be some ticker tape coming down from above. He has, in those 8 games, conceded 9 goals. So pretty much won a game, innit? I've managed to keep a clean sheet. And again, he played 1 time. One more time. Played 1 time in the Champions League, conceded 2 goals. So that's ter Stegen. And actually, I just wanted to pull this up, right, just in terms of most saves by goalkeepers in the Bundesliga this season. And as you can see, Oliver Baumann, he's 7th on that list, 91 saves. Peter Galassi, by the way, with his 100 saves, he ended up being the Golden Glove winner. 14 clean sheets in 30 games for Peter Galassi. Do you know, he once played... He once played at Hull City. How fucking mad is that? Anyway, from Hull City on the coast to East Germany to Leipzig, yeah. He ended up being the Golden Glove winner. Wow, okay, that's fascinating, isn't it? Really is. And I just wanted to call that out. didn't make any European football, did they, next year? So even though he kept 14 clean sheets, they finished on a +5 goal differential, as Manu would say from Gegen Pressing Pod. They missed out on Champions League altogether now. Anyway, back here. Right, let's have a look at the defenders. Defence, Abwehr. Defence, Robert Andrich, a recall from Bayer Leverkusen. They're searching for a manager. I did read this morning that Erik ten Hag apparently is in advanced talks and he's closing in and he's hungry for it. That is good to see. Serial trophy winner Erik ten Hag. I don't care what you say, although there is a comment section down below with your name in it. Stick your comments down below. What are your thoughts on Erik ten Hag as a manager? 3 titles in the Eredivisie in Holland, 2 domestic cups, the Super Cup, a Champions League semi-final against Tottenham, and of course, congratulations again to Tottenham on winning the Europa League, beating Manchester United. And then when Erik ten Hag came to Manchester United in his first season, he finished 3rd, qualified for the Champions League, and in that first season he won the Carabao Cup. We love the Carabao Cup here. D-list energy drink. I'd love to have my desk surrounded by it. So if you're watching, anyone from Carabao, please send it over. And his second season, he won the FA Cup, didn't he? Because the red half of Manchester beat the blue half. And then he got fired. But anyway, Erik ten Hag, it feels like he's coming in to take over from Xabi Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen. Back to this squad. Valdemar Anton. Now that is something that you love to see. Valdemar Anton plays for Dortmund. BVB, 28. Technically this is a recall. Not a total recall. Great set of films though, aren't they? Great set of films. No, I'm not sure about the remake with Colin Farrell. Oh, I do like Colin Farrell. In Bruges, what a film, by the way. What a film. With Brendan Gleeson. 26 times in the Bundesliga this season. 2 goals scored, 2 assists. This is from a centre-back who's been playing as a back 3 under Niko Kovac. Just wanted to call some of these stats out as well because I don't like to go over the top with data, but I'd just like to give you some context. Matthias Ginter of Freiburg. Most clean sheets by defenders in the Bundesliga. It's always important to know, isn't it? It's all right saying what's he like going forward, how many goals, how many assists, but how many times is your defensive lineup, your wing backs, your full backs, your backs, and your centre backs backed up your goalkeeper. Anyway, look at this. Freiburg, 11 clean sheets for Matthias Ginter, 10 for Philip the Lionheart. He's like Dave Challinor, isn't he? That's for my older viewers, by the way. Dave Challinor used to have that missile of a throw, along with... Who's the other lad? Rory Delap, of course. Rory Delap at Stoke, wasn't it? Now that used to undo teams like Arsenal with that fucking long throw. And Tony Pulis used to let the grass grow, didn't he? Just a little bit longer to upset you, didn't he, Mr. Ozil? Oh, God, I miss him. I do miss Ozil. And by the way, this day, in 2016, Arsene Wenger signed, choo-choo, all aboard, Thomas, the choo-choo Rosicky. Yeah, Rosicky was signed by Arsene Wenger for the Arsenal on this day in 2016. Anyway, Freiburg kept a lot of clean sheets this season. 10 of those, I recall. Actually not 10, sorry. 6 of those came back to back because it was Noah Atabulu in goal, wasn't it? And then also Augsburg with Finn Darman. Where is he, by the way? Finn Darman, he should be in the tour in your shortlist of goalkeepers because he himself, again, if we look at the keepers, I need to look at the keepers here. Look, Noah Atabulu, 10 clean sheets. Finn Darman, 9 clean sheets for Augsburg. I mean, yeah, at one point, it looked like Augsburg were going to get into Europe and they dropped away as they did the season before. But anyway, my point is, where is he? Where is Finn Darman? Where is Finn Darman? Anyway, back here, look. So, Big Jeff, Krislan Matsima, I've heard his name being mentioned as a potential option for Dortmund at centre-back. Robin Koch, we'll get to him in a minute because he's in the squad. Look, he's 6 on that list. I just thought it was interesting, right? Because you got to, again, it's one thing a goalkeeper having a clean sheet, but I want to know who was in that defence backing him up. And if we scroll down, Jonathan Tah. So he's 17th on that list for clean sheets. He's kept 8 for Leverkusen. Of course, he's going now, and we don't know where he's going to go, and I'm not going to jump into that one today because I feel like I've done that one already. But anyway, yeah, great to see Valdemir Anton back in the squad. 26 games, 2 goals, 2 appearances, and how many clean sheets did Kerbal keep? Was it 7? There you go. Yeah, not a bad season. Anyway, back to these options. Jan Oriol Bisek, you might remember him because he plays for Inter and they knocked out FC Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Good to see Bisek back in there. That's potentially his second cap. Joshua Kimmich, captain dependable. He'll be playing at right back, I assume. His natural position, again, he doesn't like playing there, does he? He likes playing in midfield. Robin Koch, yeah, just called him out. Here we go. Look, there's Robin Koch. Wants of Leeds United. Leeds of the Midlands. Good season this year. 30 games. 3 goals himself. Won a lot of aerial duels. Europa League, played 10 games. Again, Frankfurt got all the way to the quarter-final. Old Die Adler, SGE, got knocked out by the eventual winners. Now, that doesn't sound too bad, does it, when you say that you got beat by the eventual winners, which they did, because, of course, Tottenham beat Frankfurt, then they beat Bodo Glimt, the Norwegian Cup specialist, and then they beat Manchester United in the final. Anyway, Robin Koch also, he came out recently and said, look, if this was prior to the last match day of the season in the Bundesliga, he said, if we don't qualify, if SGE don't qualify for the Champions League, I want to go. And actually, he's another one that's rumoured to be transferred in to Dortmund. So that's Robin Koch. Maxi Mittelstadt from Stuttgart. Yeah, he'll be left back, I assume. I imagine he'll be right back with David Raum on the left, and then Jonathan Tah in that. So that's your Abwehr. That's your defence. In the midfield, then, Karim Adeyemi from Dortmund. Again, we've got to give credit. Give credit to Adeyemi. He scored, I think it's 4 in 2 games towards that run-in. And that run-in, by the way, under Niko Kovac, we've called it out before. 7 wins out of his last 8. Unbeaten in those 8 games because there was a draw tucked in there as well. There was a draw in De Klassiker at the Allianz. But yeah, 7 wins out of his last 8, which ended up securing Champions League for Dortmund, and Karim Adeyemi was caught to that team. Nadim Amiri, that's brilliant. That's the Mainz guy who's got. Oh, he takes a sweet free kick. He's in that midfield for Mainz, playing aliside Keisho Sano, who's been recalled to the Japanese squad, which also you love to see it. Tom Bischoff, like we said before, Tom Bischoff. This is his first call up to the adult team, to the national team, which is fantastic. He's just transferred. Well, again, they're rushing it through FC Bayern because they want him involved with the Club World Cup in America. Played this season for Hoffenheim, 31 appearances, 5 goals, 2 assists. And then in the Europa League, because of course they were in the Europa League, they nearly qualified. They lost out in the last game. Christian Iltz's side. Who did they get beat by? Was it Anderlecht, I believe? Yeah, it was Anderlecht in that last game. I think they won 4-3, but got knocked out just because they didn't have enough points. Anyway, 8 appearances in the Europa League, 1 goal, 1 assist. Another quick look at him there. Look, this is what you can expect from a defence. This is on a per 90-minute basis in the Bundesliga. Look, he was averaging 3.1 tackles. In fact, he did rack up the most tackles for any player in the Bundesliga this season. It was 95. So yeah, Munich are getting an absolute destroyer in that midfield. When he signs, you can expect 3.1 tackles, 1 interception, 1.7 clearances, 0.4 blocks. Does all that work? And offensively going forward, look, per 90 minutes, 1.6 key passes, 0.9 dribbles, 1.6 crosses, 0.1 through balls, and a pass completion rate of 84%. So that's what you're getting with Tom Bischoff. Serge Gnabry, okay, fair enough. Serge Gnabry and LA Fitness Leon Goretzka. So there's your FC Bayern pairing. And this one, a blast from the past, Robin Gosens. Here is Robin Gosens. Look, the 30-year-old's been playing in Italy in the Serie A for Fiorentina. 31 games this season in Serie A. 5 goals, 4 assists. Played in the Conference League as well. 8 appearances, 3 goals, 4 assists. I can see why he's been called up. And then he only played once for Union Berlin. Here he is. He's a left back, so he might be pushing David Raum for a place, but he can really play in the midfield too, which is where he's more or less been playing for Fiorentina. Look at that, interesting career. Look, starts off at youth level in Germany, ends up in Vitesse Arnhem. I mean, he's got a Dutch sounding name, right? Goosens. Heracles, played for Heracles, Atalanta, Inter, back to Atalanta, and then Fiorentina. And he looks like he's joining there permanently when the season starts up again in August. And by the way, when he was at Inter, he did win 2 Italian Cups, 2 Coppa Italias, and an Italian Super Cup. Robin Goosens. Pascal Gross, the absolute assist meister. He finished the season with 9 assists. Julian Brandt ended up with 10. That's the Dortmund pairing in that midfield, in that double pivot. And then his partner in that double pivot, Felix NMECHA. Yeah, they are. So 2 from Bayern, 2 from Dortmund, another one from FC Bayern. Alexander Pavlovich, where we are, and I guess I'm shameless to say it, big fans of this guy's. He's had a lot of health problems this season on top of his injuries. We hope he pulls his way through. Defensive midfielder. He has played 4 times already for Die MANNSCHAFT for the national team. When he has played, and sometimes through those injuries, and you should see some of the photos, by the way, like just Google his name, look at the photos. You can see there's some shots where he's got his top, or he's pulling his top up, and he's absolutely just like he's been hacked together. With sellotape and pipe cleaners, yeah, like his body's falling apart, and they're just MacGyvering it together. Yeah, you should see him. You should see some of those photos. Anyway, this season for FC Bayern, 21 appearances, 1 goal, no assists. He's played 5 times in the Champions League, one assist, and he's played a couple of games in the DFB Pokal. That's Pavlovich. Yeah, again, young man. Imagine him in that midfield. Imagine him playing alongside Tom BISCHOF. Oof. I mean, if I was the big brain one, I would be putting Kimmich at right back, or going out and signing Pedro Porro. And a quick plug, link in the description box down below. We looked at potential right back options, well, permanent options, I should say, and Pedro Porro came up because out of all the leagues in Europe, top 5/6 leagues in Europe, Pedro Porro for Spurs, he's just won the Europa League with Tottenham, don't forget, 6 assists. There's only... I keep forgetting his name. Lucas Vasquez from Real Madrid at right back. He's clocked up 5 assists. And Trent Alexander-Arnold on his way to Real Madrid to play for Xabi Alonso. Only 3 assists at right back. So Pedro Porro would be a great option. My point is, imagine Pavlovich and Bischoff in that midfield, in that double pivot. Then just put Kimmich at right back. That's his natural position and it's sorted. You could even then afford to keep Sacha Boey. Or unless you send him back to Galatasaray. Yeah, or then you could rotate Kimmich in and out with King Conrad Lima, but play him in midfield. But I'm not sure where we would go because you've already got Elise. Anyway, that's not my problem to worry about, and that's the big brain one. Anyway, there's Alexander Pavlovich. Leroy Sané, what's he doing about his future? His future's unclear. Apparently Arsenal have pulled out of the transfer saga, which is probably for the best. Angelo Stiller, this is a guy we want to see, innit? Where has he gone? Here he is. There's Angelo Stiller. Whether or not you think he's boxing material more than a footballer, I'm not going to get into that. But this young man at 24 has another defensive midfield option. This season, he's a destroyer. He's got such a range of passing with his through balls, his vision. He covers every blade of grass. He might play on glass. He's going to make a shard and probably end up drinking Chardonnay if Stuttgart beat Arminia Bielefeld in the DFB Pokal final. I just spotted it there. It's listed on this graphic. And we're doing a watch along. Again, link in the description down below if you want to belong to that one on Saturday. But Angelo Stiller, he did go off injured last time out against Augsburg in a 4-0 win. Feels like he's on the recovery road. Well, he must be, otherwise he wouldn't be in this squad. Anyway, 32 appearances, 1 goal, 8 assists. Yeah, technically gifted all-round player is Angelo Stiller. And then Florian WIRTZ. Yes, again, it's a transfer saga. We're not going to comment today. We're not going to comment. Anyway, and then on Griff, the attack. Niclas FULLKRUG. You love to see it. In from the cold. Here he is, look. He had that brilliant season last season for Dortmund. Got all the way to the Champions League final. Yes, they got beat by Real Madrid, but West Ham, you slag. West Ham came in, didn't they, with the Reddies, and they bought him for, where's it gone here? 27 million they paid for him last season. And what do you get for 27 million in the Premier League? 17 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists. Not brilliant. I suppose there was a change in management right halfway through the season for West Ham. Probably fell out of favour. Who's they got? Kudos, isn't he? He's a genius player at West Ham. Kudos, the right-sided player. Played in the FA Cup once, played in the old Caribou, but not really made an impact. But again, he's being called up. FULLKRUG's being called up because of injuries to the likes of Tim Kleindist. What's happened to Johnny Burkout? Has Johnny Burkout fallen out of favour? Because he did play 45 minutes in the San Siro for Die MANNSCHAFT against Italy. That was in the quarter-final. Played 45 minutes and went off. Yeah, bit of a mystery. Anyway, FULLKRUG, you love to see it. He's back in the side, or back in the squad, along with Dennis Undav, ex-Brighton and Hove Albion player. And then Dennis Undav's strike partner, because this guy I'm going to mention now plays as a shadow striker, a second striker. It's Nick WOLTEMADE. Nick WOLTEMADE, you love to see it. He's tall, he's gangly. I did read the other day on a tweet that he's an ex-post. He's an unrefined version of Hugo Ekitike, who's rumoured to be going to Arsenal for €90 million. Anyway, Nick WOLTEMADE, everyone. Werder Bremen fans, you'd be crying in your vice beer because you let him go, didn't you? He was in your squad. He's on my squad, on my FM24, my Football Manager 24 save. He's in my squad. I give him game time. You let him go. And at Stuttgart, he's become a beast. Look at him. He's 1.98, so he's like 6'5", 6'6". Kevin Francis, that's for my older viewers. If you remember Kevin Francis, once was it Portsmouth and Birmingham? Hang on a minute, go to Bundesliga. 28 appearances, 12 goals, 2 assists, 14 goal involvements for this striker. And he's playing in the DFB Pokal final against Arminia Bielefeld. Again, we've got to watch along. But he's scored 4 goals in 4 appearances and he's come up with an assist. And I meant to mention this on the previous video. Check out that guy's goal, by the way. Check out Stiller's goal. I believe it was the go-ahead goal against Leipzig in the semi-final of the Pokal. Fucking hell. Ball comes over from a corner. Wallop. Right foot. Straight. Just sails past. I don't think it was Galassi. I think it might have been Van der Voort in goal. Anyway, yeah. What a fucking hit, son. What a hit. Go and check that one out on Ask Jeeves. And I believe that wraps up your squad. So there you go. There is your entire Die MANNSCHAFT squad for the upcoming semi-final in the UEFA Nations League against La Portugal in the Allianz Arena. What's your thoughts then? What's your thoughts on that squad, people? What do you reckon about call-ups? Sorry, anyway, I'll get it back on screen. What do you reckon to call-ups or recalls? Total recalls for Robert Andrich, for Valdemir Anton, for Robin Gosens in the midfield, has been playing for Fiorentina. Felix NMECHA as well. Again, another call up there. And Niclas FULLKRUG. What do you reckon to that? And hopefully a debut appearance for both Tom Bischof and Nick WOLTEMADE. But there's 26 people in that squad. I'm not sure you make them all fit. You'd have to make a Katamari Demacy ball out of them, wouldn't you? And even then I think WOLTEMADE would have limbs hanging out because he's so tall, isn't he? He's so tall. Anyway, what's your thoughts on all those recalls and that squad in general? See that comment section? It's got your name on it. It's got your name written all over it. So let me know in there what you think about the people in that squad. Let me know what you think the result's going to be when they play La Portugal. We'll do a reaction video as well. That'll be on the day after. So yeah, June 4th, Allianz Arena. If you can get all the tickets, get yourself down there. It'll be an electric atmosphere. Do join our watch along, by the way. DFB Pokal final on Saturday. between Arminia Bielefeld. Liga 3 side could create absolute history. Is it going to be a fairy tale for them against VfB Stuttgart, against WOLTEMADE, Undav, Maxi Mittelstadt and Alexander Nubel in goal? Anyway, talking of Die MANNSCHAFT, I'll just fuck it. Please, double pivot these two fingers, right? Pascal Gross, Felix NMECHA, Tom Bischof, Alexander Pavlovich. Smash that like, hit the subscribe, and then do what Julian NAGELSMANN may be doing. Shouting orders. Shout out to your classmates, your workmates, your family while you're out and about and in with a shout. Let them know. Let them know about this channel. Bring them all in. It's a safe space here. Real men cry too. We're building a proper community. We're on the road initially to 100 subscribers. We're on 79. We would love to get there. You'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. We can get to 100 before this game, before this UEFA Nations League semi-final in a couple of weeks. So please help us do that. For now, auf Wiedersehen. Ciao, ciao, ciao.